Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report, where it is officially Victory Monday, January 8th, about 1:05 Central Time, my time. Going live here. I'm at 384 right now. Whenever your show is small and you do live shows, sometimes they kind of hit and miss because your subscriber base isn't that big yet. So going live, hoping to have a good live show today, midday. I don't think I've done one at 1 p.m. before. Usually late at night, but yeah. All I need is about 5, 6 y'all guys, gals from Cowboy Nation to jump in here, and we got some fire to spit. A lot of interesting things that went down yesterday that implicates the games this coming weekend even more. We know what day and time we are playing now. We will be playing Sunday, 3:25 on Fox. That's the slot we belong in. Glad we're not playing Monday night. Apparently, Monday night is saved for the NFC's fourth and fifth seed, just like last season. We were the 5 seed. Tampa Bay was the 4 seed. Monday night, again, Tampa's the 4 seed, playing the 5th seed Eagles, and then playing Monday night. So they're gonna play the AFC games first. Buffalo and Pittsburgh on early Saturday, and then Houston and Cleveland late Saturday. Then Sunday morning, it's going to be who is it? It's Buffalo and whoever the hell the 7 seed is. I'm not too into the AFC. And then Houston playing the Browns, and then Sunday morning is the 4 seed and is the 3 seed and 6 seed. Then after that will be Cowboys, Packers Sunday night, Rams at Lions, and then Monday night Eagles at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We haven't had 3 straight 12-win seasons since the early 90s when we did it 4 years in a row. Went 12-4, 13-3, 12-4, 12-4. Like I said before, I think this is our best shot that we've had since 95. The best shot we've had since that year to get back to the chip game. Better than the 98 season, the year that we passed up on Randy Moss, but, had a good team, had the inside track to possibly get to the chip game, got upset by the Cardinals of all teams. Better than the 07 season, because in 2007 we did clinch the 1 seed, yes, but Terrell Owens broke his leg in the game that clinched the 1 seed. So we played the Giants really without our top weapon. He played, but he was like 25%. I mean, get real. There's a month. You don't recover from a broken leg in a month. A lot of people don't realize that when they talk about Cowboys losing to the Giants in the 2007 season, being the 1 seed. It's just like the Eagles having Terrell Owens break his leg in 04. If Owens was 100% in that Super Bowl against the Patriots, Eagles have a lot better shot of winning that game. I know Owens had like 140 yards in that game. It's because he had 2 receptions where he was wide open and nobody was around him, and he had a ton of yak after those 2 catches. But if it would have been a healthy Terrell Owens in that Super Bowl against New England, then the Eagles might have 2 rings right now opposed to 1. It's like the Terrell Owens curse. Then when he comes to us in his second year, we're looking good as anybody except New England. And he breaks his leg week 15 at Carolina, the game that we clinched the 1 seed at. And That's that. We have a better shot of making it back to the chip game, minimum the chip game this year, than we did in 2014 when we had 1,800 plus yards by DeMarco Murray when Des Bryant went off and set the single season franchise record of 16 receiving touchdowns. Romo was in his prime. Our offensive line was young and was reminiscent of the Great Wall of Dallas. I mean, we had Ty Smith in his third year, Frederick in his second year, Zach Martin in his rookie year. We had Ronald Leary at left guard and, Old Faithful at right tackle. Doug Free, solid. He was solid. Jason Witten still wasn't an old man yet. He was only 11-year pro at that time. We have a better shot this year than we did in 2016 because, face it, we were being led by two rookies with a great offensive line and a better shot this year than 2018 and last season. This is our best shot to get back to where we want to be since 95. Only concern I have is with Gilmore, number 21. Shoulder popped out of place. Usually when that happens, you tear a labrum or you have a slight tear or something. You address that in the offseason with surgery. But you can still play with it, especially as a cornerback. He just needs his hips and his legs. Arms are important, though. He will most likely have a brace that they'll put on his shoulder. Only downside to that, that brace helps the shoulder not to pop back out, but it limits your range of motion. Now, his other arm, his left shoulder, just perfectly fine. His right arm will be limited, but with as smart as Gilmore is and as savvy as Gilmore is, even with a brace on his right shoulder, I think he will still be very, very effective. And hopefully, against this virgin Packer team, this very young Packer team, that hasn't, don't know the playoffs are about, coming to our house. The defense is very suspect, 28th against a run. We struggled against a run, so that's a plus for us right there. If we can run the ball like we did yesterday, and we had two backup guards. I know Jonathan Allen was out, but, we had T.J. Bass and Brock Hoffman at left and right guard. If Pollard could run as hard as he did yesterday for this playoff stretch, that'd be great. Shoot, Pollard yesterday out of 17 carries at 70 yards, 4.1 yards a touchdown. Rico Dowdle had 9 carries, 46 yards, 5.1 yards a carry. We finished with a total of 136 rushing yards, which is pretty good for us because we're not the best rushing team this season. We can sling the rock with no problem, but when it comes to running the ball, we have struggled. Defense stood tall after the blocked punt and field goal after that, allowed nothing. That Washington offense does have weapons. Sam Howell led the league in passing yardage. They do put up points. We allowed 10 against Washington, allowed 19 against Detroit, allowed 22 against Miami. Buffalo put up 31 on the chest. We allowed 6 on defense against Philly. And then the game before that, 35 against Seattle. So our defense is trending upwards. But it's very important that Gilmore is healthy and can play at a very high level. That was the whole point of retaining Jordan Lewis in the offseason, not letting him go. Because if we did, then, we'd be thin at cornerback. Imagine if we would have let, if we would have cut J. Lou just to save that $2 million, and then Diggs goes down, then all we'd have is Gillian Bland and no real slot. We'd be Nashawn Wright all year, and J. Lou's a slot cornerback. And we're not relying on Nashawn Wright. That's for dang sure. That's why the trade deadline, Jalen Johnson was the guy to get. We were trying to get him, but we were too pussified to, give what it took to get the guy. He was a second team All Pro this year, second team All Pro cornerback. You know what that means? That means he was one of the best 4 cornerbacks in the NFL this year. You got first team All Pro, you got second team All Pro. Jalen Johnson for the Bears made second team All Pro. Hell, is his contract season of his rookie deal. You let him walk after the season because it's a rental, and you get back a third-round comp pick. So even if we had to give up a 2 for him, a 2 and, hell, give him to Sean Wright also, you do that, and you get him for the rest of the season, we can go back to the way the defense was when Diggs was playing. I mean, he might not be as good as Diggs, but damn near close. Deron Bland goes back into the slot. We're cover 1, world beaters. And then you get a third-round comp pick for him in this coming draft. So you basically giving a 2 for a 3 and Jalen Johnson for the rest of the season, but we didn't do it. Antonio Pierce takes over for the Pacers. Him and Marcus Peters don't see eye to eye. Peters goes, only 30 years old. We don't even bring him in for a cup of coffee for cornerback depth. Marcus Peters as cornerback number 4 would be great for cornerback depth in case something like what happened yesterday happens in a playoff game. In case a Gilmore goes down in the second quarter or a Bland goes down in the second quarter and they're out for the game, just for the game. We have another guy that can step in and be solid. And Sean Wright is not. If Sean Wright steps in, they're going to be throwing to him 80% of the time because the man cannot cover. He is as bad as Kelvin Joseph, who's not even in the league anymore. I don't even see how he made the roster this season. I know he plays special teams, but even special teams as a gunner, or whatever he does on kickoff returns or whatnot, anytime we have a good return, the flag is on him. Turpin, his one punt that he took back to the house this season was called back on a holding call on the Sean Wright, who was on the opposite side of the field. I mean, Wright could have just let the guy go, and it would have still been a touchdown. We bring in Lyle Collins, we bring in Damian Wilson, we bring in this power back, and we bring in this other cat. But as far as cornerback depth, you're comfortable with Sean Wright, Eric Scott Jr., and Eric Igby. You know what I mean? The guy we traded KJ for. No, I'm not at all. And Lewis doesn't play outside very well. He's more of a slot guy. So I work for myself. So everybody must be all working today. I'm going on 13 and a half minutes, and I've had a couple people jump in and jump right back out. If nobody wants to participate, that's cool. I'll shut it down, just do a regular video. Probably be better. If the one person that jumped in wants to give me your opinion on this game coming up against Green Bay, Sunday at 3:25 Central Time, what's your score prediction? My score prediction personally is that we have a game like we did last season in a wild card round on the road, but we're at home this time against a team that's similar to Green Bay of last year, except they just won a game better, 9-8, not 8-9. Basically a 500 team. I see us winning this game 41-17. Pretty much dominating from start to finish. I think we get the ball first. We drive down the field, put it in the end zone first, go up 7-0. Stop them on their first drive. On our second drive, get 3 or 7, and then from then on, it just goes downhill from there. And they might get 7 in the first half, and then the other 10 points come in the fourth quarter when the game's put away when it's 41-7, and they make it 41-17. I think we're head and shoulders better than Green Bay. I mean, it's their first time in the playoffs. A lot of these cats, real young. The vets on the team would be Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Aaron Jones, the running back. Other than that, these receivers, they never sniffed the playoffs. Jordan Love, I don't know. Since he's been on the team, I don't know if Green Bay's been in the play. Yeah, Jordan Love, he's seen the playoff atmosphere. He's seen Aaron Rodgers play in the playoffs, but he's never actually been in a playoff game. It's that much faster in the second season. So I think we'll advance to the second round with ease and have that second game at home. We lost last year, round 2, at San Fran in a tight ball game on the road. This time we'll be at home. That's how important that number 2 seed was. The one person, the lone wolf that's joining me right now, since apparently everybody seems to be at work, I guess, reveal yourself. You have any opinions on this matter? You worried about Gilmore's health, how he'll be, especially if Christian Watson is good to go this Sunday because he wasn't last 2 weeks with a hamstring. He's their number 1. He's their speed guy. He's the guy that burnt us last season at Green Bay on that 14-point comeback in the fourth quarter. He's the one that scored both the touchdowns. Can be dangerous. Romeo Doubs. Him and Watson. Watson didn't play. Doubs didn't have a catch. And Jordan Love threw for over 300 yards. All these no-name guys we've never even heard of to win the game 17-9 over Chicago. But if it was between Green Bay, Seattle, and New Orleans, I had to choose which one I wanted to play. Round 1 would be Green Bay. We played Seattle already. We got a taste of that. We got away with a win. I didn't want to see Seattle again. And New Orleans and Green Bay probably 50-50. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'd be able to beat up on the Saints also. Saints offense is not near as prolific as it once was. There's no Michael Thomas. They have Olave, yes. Derek Carr is an up-and-down quarterback. The defense is pretty good. Offense, not as good. But yeah, I'm going to shut this down and just do a regular video. There ain't no one damn person in the chat. See, when you have a small show like this, live shows are hit and miss. Sometimes you might have a whole slew of people get in on it, or sometimes it might just be crickets. Right now, it sounds like crickets. So I'm going to just end this and do a regular video. Whoever's watching right now, appreciate you watching. DC for life. This is the best shot we've had to get back to Vegas since 95. Like I said, better than 07, better than 98, better than 2014, 16, 18, and better than last year. Get your popcorn ready because it's going to be a show. That's for sure. Charles and George out. Please subscribe, like, and share, by the way. I didn't even mention that this whole video. If y'all see this before I delete it, please subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button. It's free. It costs you nothing. It's a free investment. Once I hit 500 subs, I'm about 100 away. I want to reach that by the end of the season. I can do that with my brothers and sisters that bleed the same blue and silver blood that I bleed. If I can reach 500 by the end of the season, then 1,000 during the off season, the show will transform into a diamond gem. I'll be able to put back into it with a desktop to join with this laptop to be able to have film and graphics, a studio equipment with sound bites and whatnot, and a call-in line. So once I'm up to over 500 to 1,000, and I do live shows and have a crowd, the call-in line will be super legit, just like Law Nation Show, who seems to be the only one that has a call-in line, which I think is super important. I don't get why nobody else does it. He's the one that inspired me to start my own deal.